Okay, full transparency, I was sitting here watching this game and waiting for the Sens to blow it. I know that sounds bad, it sounds negative, but I don't think anyone will blame me based off what has happened recently. Um, this team shocked me tonight. I gotta be honest, and I feel good about this one, and I think all Sens fans should feel really good about this one tonight because we know what happened in their last game, right? They were down 2-0, they came back to tie it, and then they blew it with like 24 seconds left to lose in regulation. I was waiting for that exact same thing to happen tonight because it was almost like a carbon copy uh, of what happened in the last game, but they ended up pulling this one out in overtime. So this is a huge win, and the Sens, like I mentioned in the last review video, if they do end up going 2-1 on this road trip, then I'm gonna be feeling pretty okay about that. And here we are. That is what ends up happening. So the Sens do go 2-1 on their 3-game road trip. So Monday, December 15th, the Sens played their 32nd game of the season against the Winnipeg Jets. It was a 7:30 p.m. Eastern start time, and this was the first meeting of the season between these two teams. It was Linus Ullmark in net for the Sens and Connor Hellebuyck in net for the Jets. I believe this is his second game since returning from his injury, so in my opinion, he is the best goalie in the league. That is just my opinion. So that also adds to the reason why I think you should feel pretty good about this one if you're a Sens fan, because this is a gutsy win by the Sens, man. So the Sens were 14, 13, and 14 coming into tonight, and they were 8-7-2 on the road, make that 9-7-2 on the road now. So the Jets were 15, 15, and 1 coming into tonight. They are 8 and 7 at home, so they're now 500 at home, but they were missing Hellebuck for a while, so not a great record for the Jets, but man oh man, like I feel good about this one. There again, like every other game, there are things you can find to complain about, some um, some concerns, but this is a big win, and yeah, I mean, you gotta be happy if you're a Sens fan, man. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down tonight's game and get into the stats. There is one very glaring and surprising stat that I'm sure you're probably looking at right now. Had to do a double take on that, but we'll get to that in just a second here. So the Sens do win by a score of 3-2 in overtime, and this is a very, very gutsy win for the Sens. So they are now 15, 13, and 4 on the season, and the Jets are 500. They're 15, 15, and 2 on the season. So the shots were 31-25 in favor of the Sens, and it was actually a rare off night for the Sens in the faceoff dot, 54.3% for the Jets compared to 45.7% for the Sens. And special teams, you know what I keep saying, right? It's like either the Sens are scoring on the power play and then they're not scoring at even strength, or it's the opposite, where they're scoring at even strength and they're not scoring on the power play. Tonight, they do not score on the power play and they score at even strength, but it's the weirdest thing. But tonight it didn't hurt them. So they do go 0 for 3 on the power play, which obviously you don't like to see, but they were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill because the Jets were 0 2 on their power play. So there you go. It can be confusing sometimes, right? Because Ottawa's got a good power play and their penalty kill sucks. But now it's like, you know what I mean? Power play was bad tonight, penalty kill was good. It's confusing, but thankfully it did not hurt them tonight. So um, yeah, so penalty minutes were 6-4 with the Jets having the most. Hits were 34-20 in favor of the Sens. Block shots were 15-14 in favor of the Jets. And giveaways 13-12, Sens having the most there. And then this is the one where I had to take a double take here. Takeaways 7-0 for the Sens. Not a single takeaway for the Jets. That is very rare. You don't usually see that. So, and I'm looking at the NHL site right now, and it's still saying 0 takeaways for the Jets, which is crazy. So yeah, these two teams will meet not too long from now, January 3rd. So next year. That'll be in Ottawa. So yeah, this is a big win. And, like I mentioned at the start of the video, this game, there definitely were some concerns, as you're probably going to find concerns about every game, but uh, I'll say it again, like, I'm genuinely shocked because I thought this team was going to blow it again. I really did. Like, I'm literally just sitting in this chair watching the game. My TV is over here, but I was wrong, and I will admit it. So, we'll go through my notes now. So, starting off the game, there's not too much going on at all at the start of this game. There's not a lot of shooting. So we are 4.5 minutes in, and the shots are just 1-1. So there's nothing going on. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, but I always feel like it favors the road team if it's a slow start like that, because it takes the crowd out of it. And that's what you want to do as the road team, right? So then there was a shot that would hit the post by McDermott of all people. He kind of had a big night tonight, so yeah, I'm like, oh, what? McDermott? Hello? It's like if he pops one in, then dang. Um, I'll be mentioning him a little bit later on as well, so. Then Kachuk would get high sticked in the face by Shen, and I don't know what the heck's going on with the high sticks in Kachuk's face lately, but it's like, he got hit in the eye really badly there, and then I think there's been like at least 2 other ones, minus the one tonight. I don't know what it is, like just sticks are hitting him in the face like crazy lately, but anyways, Sens go to the power play, and of course there were no power play goals tonight for either team. So the Sens would get one shot on that power play, the Jets would kill it off. They didn't really threaten too much on that power play. So then, not long after that power play ended, Scheifele would get called for holding the stick, so the Sens go back to the power play. And here I'm thinking, guys, okay, you just had a power play, you didn't really do too much on it, you gotta get one here, right? You're getting your chances, you gotta capitalize here. Now, this power play was actually a good-looking power play, a very good-looking power play. They held the puck in the offensive zone the entire power play, the whole time. And they had a couple of shots on it, but they could not score. The Jets do kill it off. So, this is when I started to feel kind of like, you guys, we had 2 power plays, you couldn't score, you're going to regret it. And that they kind of do, sort of. So, right after that power play ends, the Sens got away with what appeared to be a too many men penalty. It was close. It was very close, but there was no call there. And then there was, they showed a stat. This game was on Prime, by the way. Not to go off topic too much here, but if you've never seen a game on Prime, I don't know if they do this every single time, but they've done this the times where I've watched the Prime games. Before the game starts, they'll show the warm-ups, like they'll show the players skating around, but nobody will be talking, like none of the commentators will be talking or anything. So it's literally just you're watching warm-ups. It's like you're at the game, but nobody is talking. And I kind of like that. It's kind of cool because it kind of makes you feel like you're there. So like I don't know if they always do that during for the Prime games, but yeah, I just want to throw that in there. I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, I know some people might find it weird. It's like, well, why is nobody talking? We're just watching guys skate around. But I don't know. I kind of like it, to be honest, because it makes you feel like you're there watching warm-ups. So just wanted to throw that in there. So yes, they would show a stat for the offensive zone time. And the offensive zone time was heavily in favor of the Sens. Of course, they did have 2 power plays, right? So I didn't put down the exact numbers, but it was like 5+ minutes for the Sens, and the Jets had like 40 something seconds. Like, it's just way, way in favor of the Sens, but we're still scoreless, right? So there was a point shot by Winnipeg that was stopped, and then Ullmark would make a heck of a save on the rebound by Niederreiter. That was a huge save by Ullmark there, and he made a handful of big ones tonight. So then there was a huge hit by Pionk on Cousins that probably prevented a 2-on-1 for the Sens. So good play by Pionk there. And then McDermott would get called for hooking. And on this power play, the Jets got 3 shots, and I thought for sure they were going to pop one in here because The Sens had 2 power plays. They didn't score on their power plays. And this power play for the Jets looked pretty good. But they don't score. The Sens do kill it off. Again, there were no power play goals tonight for either team. And we end the first period, and it's kind of a low event first period. Again, we've been here before, right? So we do end the first period, and the shots were 7-7. So, like, there's really not too much going on. There were some power plays, but really, for the most part, it was pretty low event, which, again, like, I feel like I've said this many times, because I have. I will never complain about a low event first period. If you're the road team, the home team is kind of an issue, I think, but the road team, I think it favors you big time. So we roll on to the second period, and a little over a minute in, Morrissey would take a tripping penalty, so the Sens go back to the power play again, and the Jets kill it off. The Sens don't really do too much on this power play, so I'm like, guys, come on. Like, at this point, the Sens are 0 for 3 on the power play, which is what they ended up with, so they don't get any more power plays the rest of the game. But I'm just like, okay, so this is going to be one of those nights where the Sens don't score on the power play, but they'll score 5 on 5. And sure enough, they do. Because that's just how it works, right? So the Jets kill it off, and then shortly after that kill, Batherson would take a tripping penalty here. So I'm like, yep, okay, the Jets are definitely going to pop one in here. They'll show you how it's done. But the Sens would actually get a very good chance shorthanded. That was stopped. I didn't put who the player was, but a good shorthanded chance there for the Sens. And they would kill it off. Again, no power play goals tonight for anyone. So we are nearly halfway through the game, and the shots are just 11-8 for Ottawa. That's it. So I put in my notes here, it's kind of feeling like a bit of a snooze fest, because it was. So, like, we have 19 total shots. We're halfway through the game. We do have 5 power plays, or no, 4 power plays in total. 3 for Ottawa, 1 for Winnipeg. And, like, there's not a whole lot going on, right? Yeah, there's some power plays, but that's about it. So I put it's a bit of a snooze fest. And then, listen to this one. Do not adjust your volume. So the game starts to open up a bit. The Sens start getting some chances, and McDermott would slide the puck over to Nick Cousins, and he would score. I'll repeat that. McDermott would slide the puck over to Nick Cousins, and he would score. That is Curtis McDermott's first NHL point since March of 2024. That's his first point in over a year and a half. That's insane. Like, we know that's not his job, right? His job is not to rack up the points and score goals, but I mean, he hit the post earlier. I'm like, goodness gracious, what a night for the guy. But yeah, that's great to see McDermott getting a point there. So Nick Cousins does score to give the Sens a 1-0 lead at the 10:47 mark of the second period, and McDermott and Stützle also drawing an assist, and I am wearing my Stützle jersey once again. That was Nick Cousins' 5th goal of the season, by the way. So the Sens go up 1-0, so I'm like, okay, this is good. We have the lead. It's kind of a snooze fest. This is good. I like it. So we're about 15 and a half minutes into the second period, and they show the shots on the screen in the period. 10-4 for Ottawa. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I put in my notes here, I'm thinking this is a good period so far for the Sens. And, well, we know what happens a lot of the time when I start thinking that, right? Right after they show that stat, literally right after they show the stat, that 10-4 shots, Ottawa, in the second period, Pionk would get a one-timer from the point. He would wire this one past Allmark to tie the game. Because why the heck not? As soon as they show that stat, like, are you freaking kidding me? So Pionk would score at the 15:37 mark of the second period. Connor and Perfetti getting the assist there, so we're tied at 1. So I'm like, okay. I mean, they're still playing pretty well. It's close. It's still kind of a bit of a snooze fest to this point. And I'm still kind of feeling okay for that after that goal. So right after that goal, not long after it, there was a slap shot from the point. That was a slap shot from Winnipeg, that is, and that was a nice glove save by Allmark. I did not put who the Winnipeg player was. And then it's the second period, man. It's like you never know what you're gonna get with this team in the second period. But I feel like you can say that about any team in any game. But Ottawa starts to look a little bit sluggish here in the second half of the second period. And as soon as I thought that, the Jets would gain the zone, and Logan Stanley would beat Allmark from around the top of the circles. This is kind of a bad goal, I think, on Allmark. I don't think this one should have went in. It was from distance. It didn't deflect off anything. He might have been screened a little bit, but to me, it kind of looked like a bit of a bad one on Allmark. But I mean, hey, he made some big saves tonight, so you're gonna let in a questionable goal here and there. But yeah, Stanley would end up scoring at the 18:35 mark from Barron and Velarde, and the Jets go up 2-1, and that's kind of a late goal. There's what, a minute 25 left, so I'm like, that's kind of a bit of a deflating one there. So we do end the second period. The shots were 12-10 in favor of Ottawa, and we're trailing 2-1 going into the third period. So rolling on to the third period now. There's not a whole lot going on early in the third period at all. So we would get a commercial break with 6 minutes and 24 seconds into the third period, and the shots are just 2-0 for Ottawa. So you like the fact that Winnipeg's not shooting, but 2 shots from Ottawa, you want to see a bit more than that, I think, right? But Winnipeg has the lead, right? So they don't, there's not going to be as much urgency there. But I'm thinking there's not too much going on. We need to show some more urgency here. So Scheifele would end up getting the first Winnipeg shot of the period at the 6:42 mark, like 6:42 into the period. And this ends up being a big glove save by Allmark. Like, he had to make a good save there, but it would stay out. So Stützle would get a backhand shot right in front, like right in front of the crease. That was a good stop by Hellebuck there. And then Halliday would get a partial break. That was stopped by Hellebuck. So the Sens starting to get some chances here, but it's, in my opinion, it just still wasn't enough. So we are 12 minutes and 23 seconds into the third period, and the shots are now 5-4 for Winnipeg. And I put in my notes here, there's just not enough urgency in the Sens game right now. Like, you go into the third period, you're down by 1, and we're 12 and a half minutes into the third period, and you only have 4 shots. It wasn't looking great. So, can you really blame me for for thinking they were gonna blow this some way? So Barron would come flying down the wing. He skated around like the whole team and got a shot off there. That was stopped by Allmark. And the Sens would pull Allmark pretty early here. There was like 2:40 left in the third period. I'm thinking, oh, that's an early pull. Okay. So, it ends up being a good move by them because the puck gets rimmed around the boards. And 1 second. Making sure I don't get my plays mixed up here. Okay, yeah, so the puck gets rimmed around the boards, and Stützle would make a nice play to keep the puck in. And Sanderson, at the point, he would make a nice play. He would kind of fake the shot. He would skate around the defender, and he would take the wrist shot, and this would deflect off the stick of Scheifele and into the net. Dude, when this goal went in, I'm like, no way, right? That they didn't just do that. Because, again, maybe it's the PTSD from the last game, but I'm like, did this actually just happen? Like, is this goal going to count? Is it going to get reviewed for something? But it was a bit of a fortunate break because it does deflect off the stick of Scheifele. But nonetheless, the Sens tied the game with 1:54 remaining in the third period. So Sanderson ties the game with his 7th of the season from Stützle. Again, he had a big night tonight. Seems to happen a lot when I wear this jersey. But yeah, they would tie it, and we are less than 2 minutes. We have less than 2 minutes to play in regulation. So again, I'm sitting here thinking like, no, this is too good to be true, right? Like they're gonna blow it, right? I'm waiting for it. And then in the final minute, oh, before I get to that, I do want to point out that Stützle made a nice check, nice body check on one of the Jets players. I did not put down who it was, but that actually it gave the Sens puck possession. So yeah, I do want to make sure I mention that as well. Just Stützle had a big night tonight for sure. So now, in the final minute, the Sens are getting hemmed in pretty badly. The Jets are pressing. They're getting shots, and I literally put in my notes, like, I'm just waiting for them to blow it. I'm just waiting for it, but they don't. They survive that last minute push from the Jets, and we would go to overtime. So, heading off to overtime, I think they showed, I don't have this in my notes, but I think the Sens record was 1-4 in overtime. It's not good. I know it's not good. Um, so yeah, we head into overtime, and this is wide open at the start, like wide open. So Stützle has a chance that misses. The Jets would basically the Jets and Sens, both teams, they would exchange 2-on-1 rushes. Nothing goes in for either team. It was wild. It was like the same like a 2-on-1 one way, and then a 2-on-1 the other way, and then another 2-on-1 the other way. It was just like the same play happening 3 times basically. Nothing went in there. Big saves, and it was very chaotic. But then the Sens would get another 2-on-1. It was Stützle and Tkachuk, and Stützle would pass it over to Tkachuk, and he would score the overtime winner to make the Sens go up 3-2 and win the game 3-2. And this guy, Stützle, number 18, he had 3 assists tonight. So, the dude, just and why wouldn't it be Brady, right? Like, and he needed that goal so badly. Like, that's just his second of the season. Of course, he was out for a while, but on that overtime winner, Stützle and Sanderson drawing the assists, and that's your final. Sens win 3-2 in overtime, and I think you're feeling pretty good about this one if you're a Sens fan. I don't know how you wouldn't be. So, yeah, that's huge. So now let's go ahead and look at the 3 stars of the game. This is weird. So it's saying, okay, the site's being weird, but it's saying that Stanley was the first star of the game. Second star was Allmark. Third star was Hellebuck. What? But it's not showing any of their numbers. I don't think that's accurate. I would hope Stützle gets one of the stars. He had 3 assists, but nonetheless, I'm not going to judge too much. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at our box score here, and it's not showing anything. It's doing the weird thing where it's glitching out again. Yeah, it's glitching out. It's not going to show the stats, but what I can do, go back to the scoring summary here. I can tell you right now, as mentioned, Stützle did have 3 assists. Sanderson had a goal and an assist, and then McDermott getting an assist. Like, again, that's his first point in over a year and a half, so that's crazy. And then, of course, Tkachuk getting the overtime winner, and also Nick Cousins scoring the first goal of the game. And this is a big win, man. Like, I know Winnipeg has been struggling. It's somewhere. Yeah, Winnipeg has now lost 10 out of their last 13, so they have really been struggling. They've been really going through it lately, but hey, these are the ones you got to win, right? And they showed a lot of guts because they were down 2-1 going into the third period, came back to tie it, brought it to overtime, and they won it. So big win, man. It's a big win. So now let's go look at the standings. So, with the 15, 13, and 4 record, the Sens now sit 7th in the wild card. They're still 4 points out of a wild card spot, but it's still very close. So, I mean, like, it's still crazy. I know I keep saying this like every video it seems, but even though the Sens are 2 points ahead of last in the East, they are 5 points out of first in the Atlantic. So all it takes is a couple wins, man. That's all it takes, and you're right back in it. So this is a big one for sure. And the Sens, they got a decent road record now, 9-7-2. They're 4-6 in their last 10. So you definitely, we want to improve on that for sure. But yeah, this is a big win, man. So the Sens will be back at it on Thursday. So they got the next 2 days off. Thursday, back at home against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's going to be a 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern start time. And we'll see if Stuart Skinner ends up starting that game. He might. So let's preview Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh is... They've got a really bizarre record. So listen to this. So they are third in the wild card, just outside the wild card spot. Their record is 14-8-9. 9 overtime losses. That's insane. And of course, they'll be the road team. They got a good road record though, 8-3-4, 4-2-4 in their last 10. So they've been not playing terrific lately, but the 9 overtime losses, that's insane. Like, that's gotta be the most in the league, right? Just want to check this. Yep, they're tied for the most with Vegas and Los Angeles. So there you go. Alright, so there you go. That's pretty much it for this one, guys. A solid win, gutsy win, and you gotta feel good about this one if you're a Sens fan. The comeback, the overtime win, and I think it is very fitting that the captain scores the winner in overtime. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. So once again, the Sens win in overtime by a score of 3-2 over the Winnipeg Jets, and they will be right back at it again on Thursday. So again, 2 days off for the Sens. So their next game will be Thursday, December 18th, 7 o'clock p.m. start time against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I do believe that will be the first meeting of the season between these two teams, right? Let me check that real quickly here. Just really, really quickly. This is the first meeting, right? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and go Sens go.